I refuse to help my mother's other 6 kids, and my grandparents are furious about it. So I'm 20, and my brother Jake is 17. We were both raised by our dad after our mom cheated and had Jake with another guy. Dad found out when Jake was 6 months old, but he loved Jake so much he kept raising both of us as his own kids and kicked our mom out of our lives for good. Growing up, we barely saw our mom's side of the family. Maybe once a year at Christmas with our grandparents, and that was it. We had each other and our dad. And honestly, that felt like enough family to us. But then our mom started having more kids, like a lot more kids. By the time we stopped counting, she had 6 other children with different guys, all at least 5 years younger than me. Our grandparents suddenly got this idea that we all needed to be one big, happy sibling group. Every Christmas, they'd gather all 8 of us kids together and expect us to bond. It was awkward as hell because these kids didn't know us. We didn't know them. And our mom would just sit there acting like everything was normal while we all made small talk. The worst part was when our grandparents started putting pressure on me specifically. They'd pull me aside and ask why I wasn't staying in touch with the other kids throughout the year. Why wasn't I organizing sibling hangouts? Why wasn't I being a better big sister? I told them it felt weird because we barely knew each other and lived completely different lives. Jake and I had our own thing going, and forcing relationships with kids we saw once a year didn't make sense. That's when they started getting really pushy. They'd call me and lecture me about family responsibility. They even hinted that maybe our dad should consider taking in some of the other kids since he was so good with us. I could tell they thought he'd just adopt half the neighborhood if they asked nicely enough. Last Christmas was the final straw. Jake and I showed up for the usual awkward family gathering, but this time our grandparents were extra frustrated with us for not being more involved with the other kids. My grandma pulls Jake aside and says, "You know, your dad isn't even your real father, so you shouldn't be so quick to write off your actual siblings for being only half related." Jake came back from that conversation completely destroyed. This kid has never questioned that our dad is his real father in every way that matters. But hearing his own grandmother throw his paternity in his face to guilt him into caring about kids he barely knows just broke something in him. He was crying in the car on the way home, asking if he was less important to our family because he wasn't biologically related to dad. I had to reassure him that blood doesn't make a family, love does. And dad chose to be his father every single day. That night, we blocked our grandparents' numbers and told dad what happened. He was furious and said they weren't welcome in our house anymore. We went completely no contact over a year ago, but now they're back to harassing me.